So to start with Swing, first we should be familiar with AWT. Once we are familiar with AWT, concepts of Swing are similar to that of AWT, and it's very easy. So first we need to understand the difference between AWT and Swing. What is AWT? Abstract Window Toolkit. Why the name? Abstract Window Toolkit. Basically, AWT is used for creating GUIs. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface, or we call it as GUI. GUI, right? So AWT is for developing GUIs and for developing desktop applications rather than web applications. For web applications, we use HTML. For desktop applications, we use AWT or Swing. In AWT package, there is a package called Java.AWT. In AWT package, there are some classes which are readily given to create a window which will show just like a window in my operating system. To create a panel, to create a frame, button, label, combo box, lot of controls are there available ready-made to be used in AWT. But once you develop an application using Java.AWT package, the class is present in Java.AWT package, the look and feel of your application will be same as your native OS window. The window which we create using our application will be just like your OS window. Suppose if I am using Windows for running the same application, I will see my UI just like a window. If I am running on a Linux machine, the look and feel will be again native to Linux, right? So internally, when they are developing this package AWT, they have written these classes taking into consideration the native look and feel. So these components in Java.AWT package are internally interacting with the operating system, and then the operating system is showing you the windows. Whenever you are creating a window in your application, there is a class called as window which you can use. But whenever you create a window object and add it to display, it is internally talking to the operating system and asking the operating system to show you a window, right? So the components in AWT package are internally talking to your operating system. That is why the UI will be having a native look and feel. Native means according to the OS on which you are running same program, but output will be different on different OS, right? But this AWT is considered to be heavy model, because if I just want to show a window, what will happen? It has to interact with the operating system, and operating system has to show you that window in its own native look and feel, right? But they found that AWT is a heavy model. For starting some simple GUI, it will take some time because it has to interact with the operating system. And look and feel also is different for different operating system, which we are not comfortable. I want the same look and feel on whatever operating system, right? So then they introduce Swing. Swing is developed on top of AWT, but Swing will not interact with the operating system. The components in Swing API, JavaX.Swing or Java.Swing, they will not interact with the underlying operating system, but they will paint themselves on the screen. They will be using some painting to paint themselves on the screen. So the look and feel of a Swing application will be same in whatever OS you are running, right? So mostly we go for Swing. Okay, let's write a simple program on AWT and convert the same application to Swing. Then we will see the differences and we'll talk much more on it. Right. So first of all, before writing a program, I would like to introduce you the API. Java.AWT is a package where all classes are present, and Java.AWT, see, there are a lot of other sub packages, right? Coming to Java.AWT, there is a class called as component. component is subclass of anything which can be shown on the screen, like a button or a label or a comma box or a radio button or anything, are subclass of component. Base class of all classes present in AWT is component, right? And see, there are a lot of subclass of component. Button is a component, canvas is a component, checkbox is a component, choice is a component, container is a component. Again, there are two types of components. Components which can contain another components inside them, and simple components. There is a subclass known as container. Container also is a component which can contain some other components inside it. Right? And button is a simple component. It is not a container. Right? So again, components are of two types: containers and non-containers. We say. Again, going to container. Container, a generic abstract window toolkit container. Object is a component that can contain other AWT components. Right? There are various types of containers. Again, if you see the direct subclasses, window is a container, panel is a container, scroll pane is a container, lot of containers. First, going to window. Window. What is window? Window is a subclass of a container. Window object is a top level window with no border and no menu bar. A top level window, it does not have any border and no menu bar. This is a menu bar, right? If on any window there will be menu bar. If you take any operating system windows, there will be menu bar. So a window is nothing but it does not have a menu bar and no border. There is no border around it. So generally, if I want to show a window on a screen, I will not be creating an object of window because it does not have a border. I want a border so that I can move it. I'll click on top and I can move it. Right? So we will not create an object of window. There is a subclass of window called as frame. Frame is a type of window. Frame is a top level window with a title. You can give a title to a frame and also a border. So whenever we want to show a window, we will be using frame, right? And inside this, can I keep some other component like button? Yes. So let's try to create a frame and see what we can do with that frame. We'll start simply. I'll create a new Java project now. So do with me parallelly. Creating a new Java project, AWT. So I'll just create a class demo in a package com.mysys. I'll take new and I'll create demo class. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say new frame java.awt.frame. There is one constructor for which you can give a title. This is my first frame. Create frame f is equals to. I'll just run it. That's all. I just create an object of frame, nothing else. I'll just write system.out.println end it. Now I will run. End it. Frame is not shown. Now I will say f dot set visible to true. Oh, now I am seeing a window on the top. What? No size, 0 height, 0 width. Right? There is a title bar. There is a border for this frame, but I didn't set height and width. If I close also, is it closing? If I close also, it's not closing. Okay, I killed it by clicking on this red button. I forcefully terminated the program. So what I'll do is right now I'll say f dot set width dot set bounds. Set bounds, I'll say 100 comma 100, x coordinate 100 comma 100. Width is equals to 300. Height is equals to 300. So let's see if I run it. Yeah. So my frame is starting at 100 comma 100 pixel, starting from the 0 0. If I take that at 0 0, 100 comma 100, width is 300, height is 300. It is having a title. We just showed, but if I close it, still it will not close. Right? If I want to close it, what I should do is I should write a listener for it. Whenever I click on that close, an event is generated, but we didn't write a listener for it. I should write a listener for it and terminate the program whenever that event occurs. There are a lot of interfaces which we can add. See here, for frame class, frames are capable of generating following type of window events: window opened, window closing, window closed, icon put, de-icon put, activated, deactivated, green cursor, lot of events are generated by frame. We need to handle them. So I need to write a listener which will listen for which events? Window events. Right? So see, there is a method called as, here you can see, window object dot add window listener. We will be able to add a window listener. Window, this add window listener is present in window class. Frame is subclass of window. So what I will do is I will try to add a window listener. F dot add window listener new window listener. It's an anonymous type. Actually, window listener is a interface, right? And we have to implement all the methods. This is one way. Let us work with this way. I'll show you a shortcut of this. So I will just write system.out.syst control space. Syst control space will write a system trace. Just I want to see which method is called. Where also syst control space. Just we'll see what all events are fired when I try to close it. Okay, now I'll run it. I have added an event listener, but still I didn't write the code for closing my application. I wrote some traces. running it. Okay, see the console now. Nothing is there on the console, right? I'll click on my Eclipse. What happened? The window got deactivated. So I am seeing a method deactivated. So if you want to write some logic when your window is deactivated, you can write in that method, window deactivated method, right? Again, I will select this window activated. I will try to minimize it. Window iconified and then deactivated. Whenever I click on the title bar, it is iconified. Window de-iconified, then activated. If I click on close, what is it? What is the method called? When I click on close button, window closing, right? So whenever I click on close button, it is generating an event called as window closing. There, what I have to do is I need to terminate my program. So how should I terminate my program? System dot exit gracefully. 0 means gracefully exit. So run it again. Let's see what it happens. Okay. Window. Close it. Right? Closed. Once I clicked on it, the program got terminated. So simple thing which we know. I think you might have worked at least on this. But I am not actually interested in all the methods. I am interested only in window closing event, right? So if I am implementing the interface anonymously, I have to implement all the methods even though I don't really need them. So what I am going to do is I am going to remove all this. For every listener, there is an adapter class. I will say new window adapter. It's an anonymous class. Actually, window adapter is a class which is implementing window listener and give dummy implementation for all the methods. Now, if I am using that anonymous class, what I can do is I can override whatever methods I want. Instead of implementing all, I will override whatever methods I want. So I will override window closing, and here I will just say simply system.exit. That's it, simple. So now we have written a program to show a frame with the title, add some coordinates, then exit. Close. That's it. A simple program till now. Control space automatically. Is this anonymous inner class? Is it an inner class? Yes. Actually, in this case, what will happen is we are creating a class extending window adapter. It is creating a class extending window adapter. But what is the name of the class? No name. Anonymous class. A class without any name, and it is inner class. It is inside other class. So this is an anonymous inner class. Generally, in AWT programming, we will be writing a lot of anonymous inner classes. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want you to add some 3 buttons inside frame. Okay, first let me add. I'll do it. I'll create 3 buttons. Button, first button is equals to new button. I'll give a label to the button first. Similarly, I'll create 2 more buttons. second, third. I want to add all these buttons to my frame. So f dot add. There's an add method which is taking a component. Is button a component? Yes, button is subclass of components. I can pass these buttons directly. So first button, second button, third button I can add directly. Now you just run it. Oh, I'm seeing only third button, and the third button is occupying the whole space where first and second button. I'm able to click on it, but I'm not seeing first and second buttons. We'll talk about it. Completely. A component to container where this component should be actually located inside a container is decided by something called as layout managers. Right? Let us talk about layout managers. I will show you the API. The API, there will be a method called as set layout. Set layout. Here is a set layout. You can set a layout by calling a method called as set layout. What is it taking? It is taking layout manager. Layout manager is interface, and it has a sub interface called layout manager 2. And if you see, there are a lot of implementing classes. Here you see border layout, box layout, card layout, flow layout, grid bag layout, grid layout, right? Lot of layouts are there. By default, for a frame, if you don't specify anything, the default layout is border layout. Okay, let us see for a frame what is the default layout. It is specified here. The default layout for frame is border layout. So how to add the children to a border layout? So according to border layout, the whole screen is divided into 5 parts. If this is a screen, it is divided into 5 parts. This is north, south. This is east, west. The whole region is divided into north, east, south, west and center. The whole thing is divided into 5 regions. By default, whenever you call add, it is added on the center. If you don't specify anything, it will be added by default in center. Right? So till now what happened? First button is added to center. When you add something to center, if there is nothing on north, south, east and west, it will spread over the whole screen. Right? So what I want to do is, I want to add my first button to north, second button to south, third button to west. Let us see how to do it. I'll go to border layout. In border layout, see, there is a method which will add method which will take the component comma a constraint border layout dot south. So I can do like this. So whenever I'm adding first button, I'll add it to north, comma. There is a constructor which is taking, sorry, not this one, add method. There is a method add which is taking component comma constraints. Constraints can be defined by using border layouts dot north. and second button I want to add to south. Border layout dot south, and by default third button, if I don't specify anything, it will be added to center. Let me just run it now. Yep, see, first is in north, second is in south, but there are nothing here left and right side. The center one will occupy the whole space if there is nothing. Third is occupying the whole space. So you can add some components to east and west also if you want, right? But I don't want to be like this. I don't want to use a default layout. I want to set my own layout for my frame. So what I will do is I'll say frame dot set layout. I'll pass a new flow layout. What is this flow layout? Let us discuss now. Running it now. See, what is flow layout? Flow layout is ignoring north, west, north, south, and all. It will start from the left side and it will go to the right. If there is no space on the right, it will come to next column. It will just like this. First, it will start from here. It will flow like this in this way, right? And finally, it will be centered. All the components will be centered, right? So what will happen if I add few more buttons here? I'll just add f dot add new button fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. See, it started from left till the right space is over, then it came to next line. What if I increase my size of the window if I drag it? So according to size of the window, they will adjust themselves, right? So that is a flow layout, right? I don't want like that. I want in rows and columns. I want two rows. Sorry, I want two columns in each row, right? So what I can do is I can use grid layout. Instead of using flow layout, I'll say new grid layout. And first one is rows, two rows, two columns. I want two rows and two columns. Let me show you the constructor of grid layout. Grid layout is here. First one is rows and second one is columns. So 2 comma 2, I said 4. When you run it, what will happen? Oh, what about 5th and 6th? I divide my whole screen into 2 comma 2. Let me maximize it. Will it activate? Why am I seeing 3rd and 4th here? Again now I am saying, so if I change the screen size, it is not adjusting accordingly, right? Again if I run, now I will see only I say 1 comma 1, what is happening? 1 comma 1 I said, rows is 1 only. Is it like rows is given preference? 3 comma 1 I'll say. Will I get 3 rows only? The maximum is four comma 1. So rows is given preference, is it? 4 rows are there, but in 4th row there are nothing. Rows are given preference. If I maximize it again, in 4th row 7th also is there, right? Where was it? Earlier where was it? No, this one. 6th 4 comma behind what? Let's see the documentation here. What it says. When both rows and columns have been set to non-zero values, either by constructor or by set rows and set column method, the number of columns specified is ignored. So rows is given preference. That's what I want to say. If the number of columns is determined by the number of rows or total number of components. So columns will be automatically calculated dynamically. Rows it is taken into account. Specifying the number of columns affects layout, only number of rows is set to 0. If you set rows to 0, then only columns will be taken into account. If you give another any non-zero row value, then rows will be taken into account and columns will be calculated accordingly. That's about grid layout, right? These are the important layouts. Now what I want to do is another small thing. Once you know about this, I want 1, 2, 3 to be on north, 3, 4, 5, 7 to be on south, north and south. Yeah. So how to do it? I want to group 1, 2, 3. For my frame, I want to use border layout, right? On the north side, I should keep a component which will hold 1, 2, 3, 4. One component which will hold 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want another container. So I'll add one container to north, and that container will be having 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll add another container to south. That will having. So I want a container which will hold some components. Right? But that container, if I use frame again, frame will have again a border and title bar, is it? So what I want is I want a container which does not have any border, just a plain space. Such a container is nothing but a panel. So let's see what is a panel. In this package, first I will show you component, container, panel. What is panel? Panel also is a container. Panel is the simplest container. A panel provides a space in which an application can attach other components, including other components. So it's just a space, it does not have any border, no title bar, no menu bar, nothing, just an empty space. You can add anything to it. So panel is the simplest container, and the default layout manager is flow layout. For a frame it is border layout by default, for frame it is flow layout, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll be creating two panels and then adding the panels to frame. Let us. I will create two panels. First panel is equals to new panel. For first panel and also second panel also will create here, and I need to add panels to what? I want to add first panel to north, second panel to south. So I'll delete. I'm not adding buttons to F now. I'll add F dot add first panel to north, border layout north, then F dot add second panel to south. And for first panel I'll add two buttons. First panel dot add first button and second button. And for second panel I'll add third button. And I have added panels to this one. Let's see. Panel for F, what did I set the layout? I'll not set the layout for F, then it will accept border layout, right? So like that, what you can do is you can group some components together by using panels, and you can add panels to some other components. So like that you can have any hierarchy, parent and child hierarchy. For one panel you can add another panel, for that panel you can add another panel. Now what I want is, I want you to find from by seeing the API. If I click on first button, I want to see on the console, or first of all write it on the console. If I click on first button, I have on the console I should see you clicked on first. If I click on second, you clicked on second. If I click on third, you clicked on third. See the API engine? What listener we need to write? So I should respond to what? Mouse click, right? See the API, don't Google directly for solution. You can directly Google for solution. But see the API. So I can add a window mouse listener, right? So I'll say, what I can do is I can create a separate class here for mouse listener, right? I can say class my mouse listener, inner class I am writing, because I don't want this class to be used with some other classes. That's why I can write out externally also, but to make it simple, extends. See, I can make it implements mouse listener, or there is an adapter class for everything. I can use mouse adapter. The advantage is I can implement whatever I want. So what all methods are there? Mouse clicked. Here I can say system.out.println clicked. Press, you have to press. Whenever you press, both are fired. Click and press, both are fired. But there is small difference actually.
Keep on pressing mouse clicking.
Click and leaving, yeah.
Means pressing is just showing works to be done. Mouse cuts when you.
Whenever you press, but after you listen, after you leave it, it's totally click. Press and release the click. Just press. Okay, so what I will do is for all these buttons dot add mouse listener. I have to say dot add mouse listener. Okay, I have to do it separately. For all the buttons, I'll add mouse listeners. Same mouse listener I'll add. First button dot add mouse listener new my mouse listener. We'll just create my mouse listener also separately. What is it saying? No enclosing instance of type demo is accessible. Did I define it inside main itself? No. Outside main. What is it saying? No enclosing instance of type demo is accessible. Must qualify the allocation with an enclosing instance of type demo. I'll make it a static inner class. When inner class I am accessing, right? Similarly, I'll add the same thing to Now I will run. Clicked, clicked, clicked. But I want to know which is clicked. Same function is getting executed for all the three. But which is clicked? How to know? Here we are getting a parameter called as mouse event, right? Just check event dot get source will give me the source of the event, right? I'll take it as a button. I know that it is a button. Then I'll just print plus b dot get name, right? I'll be able to print what is clicked. Let's see. First clicked button 0, button 1, button 2. Why? Is it not the name? Is it label? Get label. Whatever we are giving is a label. Okay. Clicked first, clicked second. Right. So generally what we do is we write only one listener and add it to all, and here we will be checking if b dot label is first, do this, b dot label is second, do this. One listener. We don't write a separate listener for each and every but one thing we do. Right? Any doubts? Now I will give you a simple assignment. Once you know all these concepts, what I want is I want a form which will ask for employee details, and once I click, it should save the employee details. Now no need to save, write the code for the AO. Just I want something like this. ID and a text input. Name, text input. City, text input. That's all. Submit. Once you submit, it should print ID, name and city on the console. Do it. How do you do it? Tell me the idea. How will you do? How will you proceed? The whole thing should be in a frame. For frame, what layout will you set? Grid is fine. 2 rows, 2 columns. So here I want how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for now let it be left side only, this button, instead of being it in center. Later I will show you how to make it center. To do it, you want 3 rows. And what is the component for displaying this one? Yes? Write a separate program better. requirement. Once this text input loses focus, I need to check if it is empty. I should make the background of this text field as red. ID field dot set background color dot red. See, it's showing in black, sorry, in red. So when it should be, once it is left empty, then only it should become red. Okay. Set border color, it's fine, I think. Instead of setting background color, ID field dot set foreground. Set background, will be setting the background color. Okay, now set the background color only. How do you do that? Just give me an idea. Focus adapter. Adapter is there which we can use. The focus laser only is best. I won't write both. Only two are there. Focus listener is equals to U focus listener. So once focus is lost, I need to get event dot get source will give me the source for this event. So I know that it will be a text input, text field, right? Typecast it. Then if tf dot get text dot equals get text dot trim dot equals empty, right? Then text field dot set background color dot red, else I will set it back to white. Right? And once focus is gained, I will set blindly to white. Once the focus is gained. Then for all I need to set ID field dot add focus listener. Similarly for both. Name field now I will run it without typing. If I go, it is going. Again, if I focus in, right? So you understood. Now on key press I want to listen. I don't want to allow any numbers. I want you to allow only characters. So if you try to print a number, it should not be allowed. On key press, I want to get the value press. I should not. My requirement is numbers are not allowed. You should not type numbers. If you type numbers, it should not be shown there. Just check. If there is something called key press. Instead of using key listener, I'll say key adapter. So now I can only implement only the one which I require. Key pressed. Now event dot get key char retains the character associated with the key in this event. For example, key type event for shift plus here comes capital. So it will run characters, right? So get key char. It is returning me char. Key type is equals to. Now if key type less than greater than and key typed less than z. Just tell it system or output whether this will work or not. And I'll say ID field only first. I'll ID field dot add key listener. Printing, but I didn't recognize it. Okay, for numbers it is not taking, right? Or same thing for caps. You typed a cap, right? And for all I'll give a not. That means it will come here whenever you type a number, right? Now event dot get source, I'll get the text field. Text field dot set text field dot get text dot substring of 0 comma text field dot get text dot length -1. So I'm just ignoring the last character type. Let me check whether it will work really. I'm typing, oh, zero to okay, got it. So set text, get text. So actually by the time key press event is fired, the text was not set. Okay, so I'm doing like this. When I said get text, I got the value till the previous one only. Now let us see whether or one way is string last value is equals to last value. Let me first check. It will work. It should work. Some logic you are right. Logic is not working. Okay, now we have understood some basics till now in AWT. Now I want to call the same application to a swing application. Simple. Wherever you are using any component, just prefix J. Instead of frame, J frame. Text field, J text field, J button. Everything prefix J. This will be turning into a swing application. But after you turn it to J, I'll tell you one small thing. Right? So the same application can be turned to a swing application. Let me just use the same new employee form using swing. Earlier what I did was I made my employee form to extend frame. Now it extends J frame. Right? I'll give a constructor now. Previously I wrote text fields, I will write J text fields. Here set bounds is fine, set layout is fine, focus listener I will minimize it, but wherever I have used text field I will just search and replace. J text. Let me right. Huh? Import, let it be. Okay, remove it. Let it be there. J text field both are imported. If you see here, both are imported. That's also imported, so let it be there. I can remove it. Now, what else is it? Button. Where is button? Oh, labels are there, right? Okay, I'll search for label. J label. J label is not from that package. I need to import it. And only one button is a J button. Right? After this, where am I adding? I am adding it here, right? Now only thing is, whenever you are using JFrame, you cannot add to JFrame directly. Don't add to JFrame directly. JFrame is having a child called as content pane. Right? JFrame is having another child inside called content pane. You should add children to content pane. So what I should do is I'll say get content pane. Get content. Get content pane is of what type? It is also a container. The content of the panel frame will go into this content pane. give me the container. Then to this container I should add everything. Container dot add. So wherever add is there, I'll replace it with container dot add. That's it. Now I'll just run. We have Java program main method here. New employee from Spring. Right? Am I not getting a different look and feel? This is same for all the operating system. Now I'll run the employee form. See the difference. This is Swing output. This is AWT output. So Swing will use painting. AWT will use the native toolkit of the operating system. So the look and feel of your application will be same for everything. Right? The concepts are all same. Event listeners, containers, layouts, all are same.